Hi everyone, and welcome to the very last class in your BSN, the Practicum in Leadership and Management. This course is going to be focused around the 40-hour practicum that you have and will be in a structure a little bit different than normal in that you are pretty much on your own on this. So let's go over the course. I'm sitting here at Course Home. You can go to Start here or you can go to Content up here and it will take you to the table of contents. The syllabus is here and it is standard like the rest of our syllabus. Here are your evaluation methods. You have to have documentation from your preceptor that you have completed your clinical. So every time you go, if you're going to do 8-hour shifts, 4-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, whatever you decide to do, you put it on the log that is included in the course, and at the very end you sign it and you scan it back to me. You will journal after each 8-hour session. So that means if you decide I'm doing 2 4-hour days this week, you will have 1 journal entry. If you do a 12-hour day, you will have a journal entry with 4 hours left over for your next 12-hour day. So 2 12-hour days will make 3 journal entries. And then you will implement a project, which will be some kind of PowerPoint, some kind of video presentation, a poster board presentation that will be developed on the evidence, and it will be in conjunction with an idea from your preceptor, delivered to those in like staff nurses, something like that. Maybe your leadership practicum guide, your preceptor is doing a quality improvement on bedside huddles, and you're going to look at data and you're going to educate them, or maybe she's implementing that. Maybe there's a new policy. Maybe she's wanting you to explain items in the budget to her staff. You will work with her on this and do something that is meaningful to you and your preceptor for being on her unit. And then you will also do a short 5-minute presentation for the class that you will post in week 7 and comment on during week 8. Your project management is due week 5, so you have no time to waste in getting it going. So that is because if it's not due week 5, it won't get done, and you will still have your practicum and other things to finish. So that is basically the syllabus. Read the details at your leisure. Here is the course calendar. If you note, you have the 5 things that you need to do, and you have your due dates here. I did not go module by module. There are no discussion boards until the last week in this class. There is an introduction if you'd be kind enough to do that. And in the very last week, you will post share it to the discussion board and to the assignment place for me to grade and for your classmates to see. And you will look at least 2 of your classmates and comment on their share it. All right, and we can go over the requirements of those as time goes along. So you've got to receive a pass from your preceptor, and that's pass-fail. So we will talk more about those as we go along. Let's go back to content. Here are your rubrics. You have 3 rubrics. Let's start with the journal form. I'm sorry, there's not really a rubric for the journal, it's a form. So every time you go into the clinical, I want you to describe by a paragraph what you could have done, an experience or event that was significant to you. If you remember, a reflection is a recording of thoughts and feelings that you then analyze that informs your practice. I know you're doing this because you have to, but describe an experience in your leadership practicum today that was significant. Don't have to describe the whole day. Describe an event, one event. Why was it significant? Was it something that really tugged at your heartstrings? Was it something you learned new? Was it something difficult that you may have witnessed your preceptor do? And if so, you've got to think about it. So based on what you described, what were your areas of strengths and what were your areas of improvement? What in your basic wheelhouse of leadership, style, management, skills, and attitudes was your strength when you had this event in number 1? And now what ideas or insights did you have about this experience? This is where you reflect and think, what did I learn from this? Did I learn anything? Did I think about, gee, going forward, maybe this will change something in my practice? Did I think how horrible this was and I never want to do that? And then how are you going to use this to inform your own nursing practice? What will you do differently in your own practice? And it doesn't have to be, I'm going to create a new policy or something like that. It just means, will you view something differently? Will you remember to slow down and listen? Those types of things. So that is basically the journal form. The next is your presentation rubric. So we're going to go over this, and you can refer back to this video, because since this class does not have a step-by-step, week-by-week, you may not be getting a video every week. But let's go over the project, and I will do this again. So by the time you become a BSN, you should be able to write professionally, you should be able to speak professionally, and presenting in a cohesive manner is part of that. So this assignment is the ultimate. It is your capstone. So we want you to synthesize. Remember, synthesize means taking pieces of something and putting it all together into one. I really pushed you on synthesis last semester in 471 with your paper. So what I want you to do is to think about things you've learned as you've gone along in this course and what it means to you for this paper. So you're going to integrate all of the concepts unique to leadership and management in your professional presentation. So the first thing you want to do is talk to your preceptor, because sometimes they have a project that they need help on. So here is what you might do. Staff development, educational programs. You may introduce a change on the unit. Maybe there's a new regulation from Joint Commission that needs to be implemented, and there's going to be a change. Talk about that. Maybe a new policy or procedure, or it may be piloting a protocol. So you are supposed to have the opportunity to put the concepts of leadership and management in action and plan to tailor evidence-based practice to a particular group and practicum. You're going to assimilate the concepts of leadership and management to benefit this unit. So this is an experiential learning. So you're going to experience this, and you're going to put together a PowerPoint or some other visual aid in service that you will give. So as you did in Nursing 452, you will need to have someone video you and download it in a format that I can open and grade. And the easiest way to do this is to use YouTube and grant me access. I have to see and hear evidence of an audience. If you only visit your video yourself, you won't get any score on this. All right? So this is what your presentation should contain. It should contain your introduction, the purpose. Why are you doing this? And learning objectives in the presentation of a SMART format. Many students forget these. You will lose points for that. You can go back through your courses and look at the SMART objectives. They've been out there many times. So what's the rationale? Why did you do the project? What's in it? So you're going to tell the people why they're there, what's in it, and why you're doing that. So let's say you're making a change to wound care. You're going to get at least 2 supporting things from the literature, and this is not a website. This is a peer-reviewed article from the last 5 years that supports the change that you're making. You're going to look at everything that you've done and synthesize that. So basically, this is the crux of it. How are you going to get the employees to do this? Are you going to ensure success? So think about in your mind, how are you going to get people to change? Think about change theory, think about cultural differences and not just race and ethnicity. But when we think of culture, we think of the unit culture. We think of gender. We think of age. Remember, there's us boomer, hey boomer, there's us boomers out there and the XYZ and the Gen Xers. I think I put that in there. But anyway, and so how will this be an impact on the employee? Who's going to benefit? Hopefully the patient. And who will be the key players, or is it everyone? And then you will summarize your presentation and say how the unit is impacted for them. And then this is content. You engage the audience, use visual aids, And don't read the PowerPoints, please. It should be about 20 minutes. If it's 15, I'm not going to take off. Don't make it 30, 35. You lose the audience then, okay? Videotape it, download it, and submit it. And your conclusion at the end of it should be summarizing your main points, letting your audience ask questions, and this is always key. You need a participant evaluation. So, I will be looking for at least 4 scholarly references from the peer-reviewed journals in APA format. If you have questions, you all know how to get a hold of me. And that's kind of the skinny on that. Let's look at the last Share It rubric. And this is the 10-pointer that you're going to do for your classmates. So you are not going to repeat to your classmates how you're going to change wound care, or why diabetic medicines are going to change in the unit, why you're giving insulin instead of oral hypoglycemics. So you are going to do a 5 to 10 minute. Do not exceed 10 minutes on this. I will deduct points. And you're going to basically say why you did the project. Don't tell us what's in the project. We're all registered nurses. You're going to say what was in there. Just say, these were my objectives. I used these handouts. I had a PowerPoint. Do not include the same PowerPoint. All right. And who attended? Who came? What did they learn? And what was your evaluations? So, numerical summary of attendee evaluations. This is the most important point of this. So, you had 5 people attend. You did 5 questions of a pre and post survey or a post satisfaction survey. You don't even have to do pre and post. So do your post satisfaction surveys. How many? 4 out of 5 felt that your presentation was excellent. 4 out of 5 felt that on a Likert scale of 1 to 5, that 5, they learned the new process. Maybe 1 was only fair. You get the drift. If not, call me, we'll go over it. All right. And the conclusion is summarize your main points. What worked well? What did you learn through the process? And what would you change if you had to do it again? And how will this experience change your practice? And this is structure and mechanics. So if you have questions, you know where I am. Let's go back to the rest of the course. So you will notice that going to Module 1, you have an overview. So this week, you should be marking the due dates on your calendar. You should be talking with your preceptors and finalizing your schedule with him or her. You should start talking about the objectives for the practicum and discuss options for your project with them. Introduce yourself in discussion. This is the practicum journal. Again, it's here. And again, here's instructions that I've already covered. And last but not least, you can look at the ANOL, the American Organization of Nursing Leaders. This is a very short video. It is not a have-to. It is for your information. All of the videos listed on here, all of the YouTubes throughout the modules are helpful, but not required. So I know that means you won't be looking at them. So basically, this is not self-study, but you're going to have to start working on your project immediately. By week 2, you are at the beginning of 4 weeks left till that project's due. So go through and work on your project. Modules 3 and 4, you're not going to be getting, it just says continue what you're doing. Continue, submit your journal, start preparing your presentation, and prepare your handouts. Last but not least, turn in your journals to me whenever you do them. If you want feedback from me, I will try and grade them as they come, but you will need to email me that you turned in your first journal. That way I'm not sitting here and you're not sitting here at week 14, or I'm sorry, week 7 with me grading all the journals and you're not done. So I have a 15-minute limit on this video. If you have questions, give me a ring, email me. I'll be happy to repeat. I look forward to working with each and every one of you in this class.